Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to our Vanceva webinar. My name is Stephanie Godard. I have been in Saflex and Vanceva for many years, and I will be your moderator today. So you will soon learn everything you always wanted to know about our colored Vanceva interlayer for laminated glass. We have planned 75 minutes for this session. And please don't hesitate to type all your questions through the Q&A box, and we will address them all at the end of the session. On the line with us today, we will also have Mr. Matthias Haller, who is one of our most experienced technical support, and Matthias is based in Germany. And we will also count on the help of Mr. Wim Stevels, who is our architectural industry support specialist, and Wim is based in the Netherlands. But without further ado, I'd like to hand over to our main speaker, Mrs. Lane Belliot. Lane has been with us for 10 years. She was our customer service lab manager in our main plant in Ghent, Belgium, where she is still based. Lane is now assisting laminators and specifiers as technical service in Benelux, UK, Ireland, Czech Republic, Sweden, Norway, and France. It's a very large area. But today she will be presenting from her home office in West Flanders. So Lane, this is all you now.
Thank you, Stephanie. Thank you for the introduction, and thank you all for joining today's Vanceva webinar. Before I dive deep into Vanceva, I would like to give you a quick word on our company Eastman. We are a global specialty chemical company, and amongst other products, we supply PVB interlayers for architectural and automotive glass applications. The headquarters of Eastman are located in the US, in Kingsport, Tennessee, and the European headquarters is located in Rotterdam. Eastman acquired Solutia and its PVB business 8 years ago. And there are two brands in our PVB portfolio. It's Saflex, that contains the clear and functional PVBs, and Vanceva, which are the colored PVBs. And these two pictures show our booth at GlassTech 2018, where our products were shown in different applications. We produce and supply our PVBs globally. In total, there are 4 plants where PVB is produced. As Stephanie said, the largest PVB plant is located in Ghent, in Belgium, where besides automotive PVB, the majority of all architectural interlayers are produced, including Vanceva. The plants in US and Mexico, they produce mainly automotive PVB grades, and the plant in China produces both architectural and automotive grades. Before we dive deep into Vanceva, I would like to explain in short what PVB is. So it's an extruded mixture of polyvinyl butyral resin and plasticizer. So I'll show you a sample here on the video. The PVB film, it bonds with glass under heat and pressure, and it forms laminated safety glass. Once it's sealed together, this sample looks like a regular glass. The interlayer between the glass, or between the two glasses, is actually responsible for the enhanced properties of the laminated glass. We sell our PVB in rolls, refrigerated or interleaved, and it's manufactured in a variety of formulations, colors, thicknesses, for use in buildings, transportations, and specialty glazings. For now, it's used over 50 years in architectural applications, all kinds of applications, and you can see some on on the figure, going from single laminated glass to IGUs to double IGUs and even multi-layer compositions. One of the key characteristics of PVB is its good adhesion to glass. You can see on the image on the right that when a regular annealed flowed glass is submitted to a shock or a load that exceeds the designed material strength, that it can break suddenly in very sharp, irregular pieces. And these pieces can cause very severe injuries and damage. Tempered glass, which is shown in the middle, will break in smaller pieces, but it is neither resting in place. A PVB interlayer then tends to hold all the pieces together as a kind of glue after breakage, avoiding the spread of glass shards all over the environment. And this helps also in reduced injuries. When the laminated glass is glazed to stay in frame, and of a post-breakage, the risk of falling through is reduced significantly. So the nice thing with PVB is that other functionalities can be added besides only the safety aspect. One of them are, for instance, colorants, and that can create different full mass pigmented PVBs, as you can see on the picture. I will briefly touch the different functionalities before moving to Vanceva. So as mentioned, laminated glass made with standard clear PVB helps to ensure that the glass stays in place and that it resists against an entry in case of an impact, a bomb blast, a ballistic attack, or a forced entry. Saflex structural interlayer is a PVB specifically designed for applications where rigidity and high glass adhesion requirements are critical. Due to the strength and stiffness of the structural PVB, laminated glass can either sustain a higher uniform load for a given configuration, or you can reduce the glass thickness while keeping the same load and area as compared to the conventional glass. Saflex acoustic, it's an extruded tri-layer PVB that contains a soft core in the middle and that dampens the sound additionally by 2 to 3 decibels compared to standard clear PVB. Saflex storm interlayers are tough, resilient interlayers that provide protection against windborne debris and flying objects. So these are specifically designed and formulated to meet the building requirements for laminated glass in severe wind and windborne debris markets. Clear PVB, it blocks 99% of the UV, up to 380 nanometer. But we do have a PVB in the portfolio that outperforms this. It's called Saflex UV, and it screens 99% of the UV up to 400 nanometers. And this level of UV protection is ideally for musea, for storefronts, libraries, and for instance, switchable glazings with sensitive layers. And finally, the Saflex solar grade, it contains 2 interlayers with a high light transmission, but with infrared absorbing capabilities. This is designed to improve the solar heat gain performance in laminated glass compared to conventional laminated glass. So all these interlayers are a part of the Saflex product brand. And an important remark is that they are all available in the width of 322 centimeter for lamination with jumbo panels. Let's move now to Vanceva. In the next slides, I will show how Vanceva can contribute to your project or make a design really be different from others. It can make a project very colorful, as in this image, of a university building in Belfast. But Vanceva can also be like in this design. With only one color, you can really highlight the design of a building, which is in this case, quite surprisingly, it's a church. But Vanceva can also bring tranquility. And by using the high reflections of white PVB, the building can become part of the environment. Later in my presentation, I will come back on these three different projects and the colors that are used. So now I will touch the portfolio, which colors are in. So the Vanceva portfolio exists actually of two different groups of colors. First, there's a group of 16 Vanceva colors, and then there's a group of 11 earth tones. The Vanceva colors are designed to be used in multi-layer combinations to produce really thousands of different colors for both interior and exterior applications. Of these interlayers, 4 can be combined to create colored laminated glass. There are 8 foundation colors, 4 specialty colors, 2 translucent ones, and finally, a solid white and an opaque black PVB. The other group of colors are the earth tones, and these colors are actually intended to be used for single layer laminated glass. They are designed to replicate typical glass colors as we know that are available in the market, such as blue, bronze, brown, green, and gray glass. They are compatible with other Saflex interlayers, but they need to be combined with caution, and we definitely recommend a mock-up panel in that case. This slide shows the principle of Vanceva with a graph. By combining yellow with the red, orange is obtained. If we change now the red by a blue interlayer, then green is obtained. Green is not present as a base color in the 16 colors, but there are really hundreds of green combinations possible with matching blue and yellow as base colors. Every Vanceva layer has a name. You can see this here in the table, and the name corresponds to its color. For instance, the light blue is called aquamarine, the medium blue is called sapphire, and the dark blue calls true blue. For the combination purposes, each color has also a single digit code. It's in the second column. So one laminated color can be described by a 4-digit code. All light and solar characteristics of the different Vancevas here presented in this table are measured using 3mm clear glass. As I said, there are 8 foundation colors consisting of each 2 reds, 2 blues, 2 grays, and 2 yellows. The difference between the same colors is only the level of light transmission. Then there are 4 specialty colors, and 3 of them are actually more intense than what you could achieve through a 4-layer stack. The 4th one is a neutral gray, it's called ocean gray, and that one can be used as a standalone color or to darken other colors. Already with the combination of the foundation and specialty colors, very bright designs can be obtained. Like in this project presented on the slide here, it's the tower of a church in Oran Park town, close to Sydney in Australia. This tower was completed in 2015, and it consists of 146 Vanceva laminates in total with 9 different colors. And 8 of these 9 colors are monolayer colors. Only the green, which you can see in the middle of the middle image, is a combination of aquamarine and golden light. Even combinations of the quite intense specialty colors are possible. Here in this balustrades in Spain, the combination of true blue and deep red was used. It's a combination that seems maybe a bit strange up front, but once it's finished, it perfectly matches with the aesthetics of the facades. Two of the 16 Vanceva colors are translucent, and they differ from each other only in level of light transmission. So Arctic snow on the right image has 65% light transmission. This means that shadowed outlines of objects are just barely visible through this diffusive interlayer. The cool white is more transparent with 80% of diffuse light transmission. The shadowed outlines of objects are clearly visible, but details are obscured when the lighting is equivalent on both sides. So these translucent PVBs, they can be perfectly used as standalone colors, as shown in the image here, but also to make other color combinations translucent. Combinations of different translucent interlayers allow designers and architects to create private and elegant spaces by specifying just the right light transmission which is needed. So, and especially in designs that traditionally have been using sandblasting, acid etching, or paint, Vanceva can improve the aesthetics and the functionality. The translucent interlayers, they can be layered with themselves or with the other whites to achieve levels of translucency that are not available in the single layers. So meaning different than only the 65 or the 80% light transmission. The data that are shown here in these graphs are again obtained with 3mm clear glass, and by combining multiple translucent interlayers, the light transmission, which is shown on the graph in the dark blue bars, can be tweaked. Another element that can play is a visible light reflection. It's shown in the blue bars. So the whiter or the more diffuse the laminate gets, the higher the visible light reflection will be. An important note is that all these colors and our existing interlayers are available in the commonly available softwares that are used to calculate light and solar data and glazing properties. They are as well available in the tools owned and used by large glass companies. Besides, with themselves, the whites can be perfectly combined with the foundation and specialty colors to create translucency. Here I show again two projects. So on the left, you see the Highveld Mall in Johannesburg. The entrance reflects the Rainbow Nation, where South Africa is known for. And on the right image, you see the art center of a university in Mexico. And this facade contains different shades of translucent white combined with an opaque white. And this allows really a good mix of, let's say, direct and diffuse light entrance in this building. So last, there is a solid white and an opaque black PVB. The white PVB is close to opaque, but allows a minimal amount of light diffused through the glazing. So the white PVB allows to create laminates that have two different colors on each side of the laminate. And absolute black has a light transmission and is of course a light transmission of 0%, and is of course a standalone color. On the sample that I show here through the video, you see absolute black with its 0% light transmission, but it's combined with polar whites. So these two interlayers are combined together And if you laminate another Vanceva in front of the white, you get even another color. So the polar white can be used perfectly to have two different colors of PVB on both sides. On this slide, you can see two different projects using the opaque white PVB. On the left, it's one of our own projects. It's Eastman's glass tech booth of 2 years ago in Düsseldorf. So the glass walls and the doors of the meeting rooms contained the colors of an Indian summer. The polar white was used both as a standalone color, but also in combination with tangerine. And on the right, there's a picture shown of the hospital elevators of the Rey Juan Carlos Hospital in Madrid. The aim of this design was to create light and silence, and it was obtained with polar white in combination with bent transparent glass. So this project shows that Vanceva can also be used in a specialty glazing like bent glass. So now that the 16 base colors are presented, I will dive a bit deeper into the general characteristics. So all the Vanceva interlayers are, of course, primarily also safety interlayers. And besides the color, they have the same safety properties as standard laminated glass. They provide UV absorption and the same acoustic dampening as clear PVB. We recommend that up to 4 Vancevas can be layered in one laminate. All the colors are available in thicknesses of 0.38 millimeter. So 4 layers give a total PVB thickness of 1.52 millimeter. The 3 whites are also available in 0.76 millimeter with the same light transmission as the 0.38 millimeter versions. In case for your project or for your design, the total needed PVB thickness can't be reached with only Vanceva interlayers, it's perfectly possible to combine them with clear or another functional Saflex interlayer. But we stress, for optical and durability reasons, only the Saflex brand PVBs can be combined with Vanceva. And then the request or preparation of a mock-up sample is, especially in case of a new multi-layer combination, is something we strongly recommend and support to be sure that the optical aspect is in line with your expected properties. And like for the Saflex interlayers, all Vanceva colors are available in many different widths, but including also the 322 centimeter for lamination with jumbo glass. As I mentioned some slides ago, every Vanceva has its name and its digit code. So one laminated color can be described by a 4-digit code. And this 4-digit code, it does not only describe which colors are used, but also their order of lamination. Because care needs to be applied when the colors are chosen for a design. So here, color 65, this combines the blue sapphire with ruby red. That is not identically the same as color 56. You will see identically the same purple color in transmission. But when you will look in reflection, and that can be, for instance, at the outside of a building, it could happen, or it may happen, that the reflected colors are different. And this can depend a lot on the viewing angle, on the time of the day, or even on the weather conditions. So to prevent that identically installed colors show differences in reflection, care must be applied during the lamination and the installation process. And this is even the case for translucent interlayers that are combined with a clear PVB, because the human eye tends to be very sensitive for white shades. But this is something that the laminators are familiar with that use Vanceva. For symmetrical configurations, the color observed in reflection mode will of course be the same on both sides. For instance, if the sapphire is laminated in the middle of two ruby reds. In order to avoid as much as possible different reflections, and if the choice is there in 3 or 4 layer combinations, the design of the Vanceva stack should happen as symmetrically as possible. So here, sapphire should be used in the middle between 2 ruby reds, but also in a 4-layer configuration, it should be laminated as symmetrically as possible. But also, again, this is something that the laminators are normally well aware of. To further minimize the effect of polarization, PVBs should be laminated consistently in the same orientation as the unwinding position. So within one laminate, the laminators make sure the different sheets follow the same unwinding direction. And also when identical colored panels are installed next to each other, no 90-degree angle turns should happen. When we speak about colors, color stability is of course very important. Heat and light stable colorants are used for the production of Vanceva, and the color stability is also tested. We perform both outdoor natural testing as well as accelerated testing. And then we don't test only the fading, but the general product performance is verified during these tests. So in Florida, the laminates are exposed to cyclic hot and humid conditions under a 45-degree angle facing south. This you can see on the image on the slide. So while in the Arizona desert, they are exposed to intense solar radiation and heat, as Arizona is an area with one of the highest UV intensities in the world. Accelerated testing that we perform, that includes both xenon testing in a WOM or a wedrometer equipment and EMA testing. So in a WOM, the energy distribution is similar to natural sunlight, and EMA testing is an accelerated natural test where laminates are mounted on a device that follows continuously the sun throughout the day in Arizona. Also important, the Vanceva interlayers comply with the requirements that are listed in the durability criteria in the ANSI norm and in the ISO 12543 radiation norm. So I have highlighted now some characteristics of these 16 Vanceva colors, but there is also the second group of colors in the portfolio, the earth tones. They have as well all a name matching the appearance. And some of these colors are available in thicknesses of 0.38 and 0.76 millimeters. Others only exist in 0.38 millimeters. As mentioned earlier, these colors match existing glass and are typically the standalone colors. So if for your project the colored glass may not be available or appropriate for use in your project, the earth tones give an elegant option to fulfill a project's need without sacrificing structural integrity. Like Vanceva and the layers, cut UV, have enhanced acoustics, and as well they are made with color and heat stable colorants. And again, they are available in many different widths, and again including the 322 centimeter width. So in this project in Switzerland, the earth tone color marine was used for the balustrades. And you can see on these images that a frit or an ink is present in this glazing. So the frit or ink, it can be applied on side 4 of the configuration, But like in automotive applications, it can also be present on either side 2 or side 3, where it's facing the PVB. Now that I have presented you the entire portfolio, I will show you how our website works and what you can do in the Color Studio. So Vanceva has its own website, and it's filled with plenty of information about the colors. So if you would like to find the best Vanceva match for a RAL, a Pantone, an NCS, or a RGB color, there is a useful search function at the top. If you enter the code in the search, you will get directly the best match. The light and solar results of the possible solutions can then immediately be downloaded as a PDF, and if needed, samples can directly be ordered. Assuming you would like to see all the data of the combination that I used yet, combination 56, ruby red with sapphire. One option is to enter 0056 in the search box on the top with the filter on the Vanceva color code. Then you get one hit. But if you would like to explore the different purples, you can hit the purple square at the top, and many possibilities will appear. There is even the choice of adding a translucency to the combination. If you select there, color 56, then you get immediately some light and solar data with 3 mm clear glass. Again, you can download the full data sheet, but therefore you need to be registered on our website. If not, a small lock is present in front of the word download. So if you are registered, which is easily, you can download the PDF, and the PDF looks like this. At the top, you see the configuration you downloaded. So it gives you the type of glass, the layers used, and the entire PVB thickness in combination with the glass. So the optical and thermal properties are shown both in imperial and metric units, and at the bottom of the PVB, the color properties are listed, and a visualization of the color is given as well. If you would like to order a sample, it's perfectly possible through the Vanceva website. So a small processing fee per sample is requested, and you will receive the 10 by 10 sample in your mailbox. You can choose up to 4 interlayers in one sample. If you would like to design and create in color right at home or in your office, then the laminated colors can be ordered per set. This allows you to mix and match the colors in a natural light and to see a closer representation of your selected color. Very useful is the Vanceva Color Selector. It's a small booklet where all the Vanceva colors are 4 times available in 10 representative sheets. So it allows architects and designers to create any Vanceva interlayer color combination right from the desk. And it's much less heavy than carrying laminated samples. And the example on the slide shows a combination of coral rose and aquamarine, giving a light purple. And then on the right image is the combination with the color selector visible, and showing it's a good representation. So through the video, I can show you how, the size of this book, that all the interlayers are present. And again, here, if we make coral rose with aquamarine, then I have here the laminated sample again. Then you can see it's, I hope it's visible, it's a quite or a very good match, actually. So we produce the interlayers, but we don't produce the finished glass. So laminated glass with Vanceva is produced around the world by leading glass manufacturers. And through our website, you can easily find them. You can easily find or locate these laminators, either by searching per city or per country in the search box. Hits don't only give you the name of the laminator, but also their full contact details with website, address, and phone number. Besides the light and solar datasheets, a lot of other technical information can be downloaded. You can find an instruction movie, online courses upon request, project pictures in the gallery. So this was a bit all the technical data about the specifications of Vanceva, but I would also like to show how architects and designers can get visibility through our website with realized projects. And we do this through the World of Color Awards competition. This is a free biannual international competition that honors architects, interior designers, and other industry professionals who have demonstrated the innovative use with Vanceva in their work. So every 2 years, projects that use Vanceva in either interior or exterior design, they can be submitted through our website by individuals or by a group that contributed to the design of the project. It's either the laminator that can submit, but also the architect or another party that was involved in the installation. After the deadline for submission, the projects are open for votes through our website. Everybody can vote, and currently the voting for 2020 is open on our website. So based on the web votes, then a shortlist is compiled, and with this shortlist, the winners are chosen by a professional jury. So we are very proud to announce you this year 5 jury members. They are a mix of respected architects and glass and architecturally related professionals. The exterior and interior winner are honored during a ceremony on Glazing, and additionally they receive a glass display award and important recognition in all types of media associated with the competition. So I will highlight the winners of last year. So the exterior one, or of 2 years ago, the exterior winner of 2018 was a project in Utrecht in the Netherlands. It's the Prinses Maxima Center for Pediatric Oncology. So the young patients, their parents, and the medical staff, they had to be able to cross easily a very busy 4-lane road and a tram track. That was, or that's present between the pediatric center and the hospital on the other side. So the answer came in the form of an elevated walkway, and the execution happened in the form of a glass rainbow. In total, 650 glass pieces in 15 different colors have been installed. So the colors, they all consist of either a monolayer or a bilayer Vanceva combination. And the final effect is a living and friendly atmosphere that delights both the kids and the adults. The 2018 interior winner was the Utah School for the Deaf and the Blind in Salt Lake City. And from the street, the red staircase inside is visible. The red glass made with Vanceva was the focal point in this building, and other colors were added based on the perspective of the user groups in this school. So the current participants of this year and the previous winners, they can be found in our pictures gallery on the website. You can easily search on the project name, on a city, or even on a color in the search box. But there is also the possibility to filter per application, per type of building, or per world area. I hope that the presented information is showing that Vanceva allows you to create, first of all, safe spaces without sacrificing any style or comfort. So some exterior applications that are possible are doors and windows, curtain walls, wall coverings, balustrades, and overhead glazings. And for interior, Vanceva can be nearly used without limits in partitions, doors and windows, furniture, balustrades, floors. In the next slides that come, I would like to highlight some other remarkable projects using Vanceva. Again, all the images and the project information can be found back on our website. Vanceva can be perfectly used as glass fence here in Barcelona in Spain. This project was finished early 2003. So 17 years old now, and in total 40 rows are present with 10 sections of spandrels, very gradually transitioning from yellow to red. So this project shows that even in the yellow and red shades, many possibilities are possible. The students of the Computer Science Department of Queen's University in Belfast, Northern Ireland, they take classes in a very modern facility. Although the building originates from 1970, the concrete cladding was removed and vertical colored fins were installed in 2016. The same colors were used inside for the staircase balustrades. And when illuminated at night, the colors really highlight the entire building. Vanceva can also highlight facades, like shown here in the International Management Institute in Kolkata, India. This building is now 10 years old and is located in the middle of a dense urban area. So the building stands really apart from its surroundings due to the colored facade. Vanceva is not only the vibrant colors. So here, the use of polar white in the Corning Museum of Glass in Corning, upstate New York, creates a minimalistic design where simplicity rules. This project was completed in 2015, and it combines the Saflex structural interlayer with the polar white. So, and here the white reflects continuously the changing landscape in the building. In total, 140 panes of 3.2 by 7.2 meter were produced. So each pane weighs about 1,000 kilograms, and it's held in place by aluminum profiles that are glued to the glass and mounted to the facade construction. This is the Corning Museum in the evening or by night. Also in balustrades, Vanceva can be used. This is a project of 29 apartments in Paris, France. So the environment is also very dense in Paris. So the project is really highlighted from others in the surrounding. And moreover, every apartment is a unique one. In this wellness in Switzerland, the doors are made of Vanceva in combination with a translucent white PVB. So this shows that the use of Vanceva in a humid environment is possible, but it is important that the open edges are never in contact with standing water. It has been 20 years since the completion of the Peckham Library in Southwark, London. So it's one of the first UK buildings with Vanceva. Until now, no fading appears. The building was remarkable at that time for a number of unique architectural twists. It has an inverted L shape, an open communal space, and Vanceva for the colored glass used for the cladding. In 2000, this library won an architectural award, the Sterling Prize, for its extraordinary and innovative design. Another way of using Vanceva is as branding. This burger restaurant opted for an original way to showcase their brand color at the Sydney International Airport. Due to the limited space, the kitchen is located on top of the counter, And by using Vanceva colored glass, they made the design light and appearing, spacious, but still using their typical brand color. This gallery in Nancy, France, was completed in 2012 and it's 300 meters in length. And it plays a structural role, connecting together the schools and the shared resources around it. So here 2 colors are used for the polygonal roof. And here is our church. So Vanceva can highlight as well very special buildings. This is called the High Heel Church in Taiwan, and it opened in 2016. Vanceva Sapphire was selected to create the bright blue tinted glass for the facade of 17 meter high. In total, 320 pieces of triangular shaped glass have been used. And it's an attractive spot for wedding photo shoots and special ceremonies, but no regular church services are held in this church, if anyone should wonder. This Pangu building, it's next to the Dragon building in Beijing. It's a project from 2015. And it shows that Vanceva can also be used in really extraordinary glass designs. It combines curved glass in a double glazing unit, and it required the highest techniques in vacuum bag lamination. The result is a diamond-like glazing, let's say, and they are produced in all kinds of different sizes for this facade. Also artists, they like Vanceva. This art piece is called The Island and is built in a business school in Odense in Denmark. 3 large umbrella-like structures are built there, each with a diameter of 7.8 meters. And every umbrella contains 16 to 18 self-bearing shaped glasses. In total, 51 glasses are manufactured with 14 different Vanceva colors, and all the colors contain up to 3 interlayers. So they have been mounted as single glasses, but also with some overlap in between, so in order to create different colors. To finish my presentation, I would like to highlight that laminated glass with Vanceva can also be used in furniture design. Here, black steel has been filled with Vanceva laminated glass, and the furniture is located in the middle of these apartments in Trento in Italy, acting as real eye catchers. This was it for today's webinar about Vanceva. But in case you are interested in acoustics, there's a next training opportunity. On Thursday, my colleague Julia Schimmelpenning is hosting a webinar about how to use our online tool SoundPro effectively to determine an optimal glazing performance. Everything that I presented, or nearly everything, you can find back on the Vanceva webpage. We post as well projects through our social media, LinkedIn and Instagram. And if there are any questions for now, together with my colleagues, I will be more than happy to answer them.
Thank you, Lane. We have had a question coming through the Q&A already, but I will start the question by asking, we heard a lot about the 4 layers, and so one of the questions is, can we have more than 4 layers?
Okay. Is more than 4 layers possible? The answer is yes. Yes, but it becomes more challenging in terms of lamination because having 4 interlayers mean you need to adhere 5 layers of air, and increasing the 4 yields more challenges in the deayering step. So for the laminator, it's not the most easy job, but there are laminators that do it perfectly. So it is possible, but it is up to verify with the laminator.
Thank you. There is another question on the Q&A saying, do we have Vanceva for BIPV applications?
So let me take that questions. And the first thing to remember is that Vanceva interlayers are primarily designed for autoclave processing, so high pressure processes. So I suspect that for a particular BIPV application, some additional validation may be required. And since this is a non-standard application, I suggest to reach out to your regional Eastman representative and discuss the matter so that the problem is best understood and an optimal result can be obtained.
Thank you. I think this is related to it, and I think the answer will be very similar. It says PVB lamination on glass. Can we process on solar PV laminators? So I guess this is very similar to it.
Yes, I would imagine. So you mentioned solar modules?
It doesn't say so in the question. So whoever asked this question can drop me a little note to explain.
Yeah. Because if it implies Eastman Saflex solar PVB interlayers, then yes, such combinations are possible in a laminate as they require similar processing. Of course, it's important to assess the final combination visually, but that would certainly be a feasible combination.
Thank you. There is another question here about the percentage of frit coverage that is allowed, a maximum. Is there a limit on frit percentage coverage when laminating against the interlayer? That would be surface 2 or surface 3. So maybe, Matthias, you want to answer this question?
Yeah, sure. Well, that all depends. That's my typical answer. So it definitely depends on the percentage of frit has been used. If you have a dotted pattern or stripes or full, so it all depends. So there is no maximum to answer that question in that direction. It's also different between the different colors. So you see a difference also if you use a white or a black silk screen. So therefore there is no limit. Like Wim already mentioned, so we are more than happy to get those questions to answer them specifically for the related project.
Thank you. There is another question about moire, M-O-I-R-E. Will there be any moire effect in using Vanceva PVB? So I take that it would be like a defect in the laminated glass. I don't think that would be something we would want.
No, I take that to mean like anisotropy type effects that can occur in tempered glasses. Generically, PVB interlayers are not known to contribute to these types of effects, and Vancevas are not different in that respect.
Indeed. There is another question coming in. Are there official transmission and reflection spectra for Vanceva interlayers? And should they be taken in WinFSLT/optics? And are there optical simulation in these programs realistic even for white PVB that may diffuse the light? That's for you, Wim, as well, I guess.
Yeah, that is. So let me say that for the transparent Vanceva colors, So the vast majority of the Vanceva colors, the simulations that are run in optical software are very accurate. It is correct that diffusive interlayers, diffuse reflecting interlayers are harder to model by a lack of appropriate measuring standards, but also limitations in the software. And it is an area that we are actively working on to improve that. When it comes to whites only, we have a statement available that notably is more accurate for the reflections of the white color. For the transmission values, the values reported in the software are accurate.
Thank you, Wim. I think the person asking for the photovoltaic modules lamination comes back. As we already mentioned, this is a little bit outside of the Vanceva. It's applicable whether it's Vanceva or clear PVB. So if you want to drop me a note, I think we will reply to this question separately, because it looks like it's something important for you. So we will come back to you with more information on that. I don't see any other questions. No other questions coming to the top of your mind? I have had the question earlier and I replied separately, but I would like to let you know that this presentation will be sent to you, to the participants, after our webinar today, and it will be available for 2 weeks, so you can share it with your colleagues. Just in case you were wondering, I had the question and I replied separately. Thank you for your compliment from Colombia.
Stephanie, I have put the slide, I've shared again the slide with your email addresses in case people would like to send a separate question.
Thank you. I don't see any other question coming in. Okay.
Okay.
Well, if there are no other questions, thank you very much for your time. I hope it was an interesting use of it. As I said, this webinar will be sent to you automatically and will be available for 2 weeks. So please share it around you. If you have any questions coming back to your mind, or if you have any questions on new upcoming projects, please don't hesitate to reach to one of us or to your local Eastman rep. As Lane alluded to, there will be another one this week on acoustic and how to use our Sound Pro software. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you.
See you next time. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.